What's up, everybody? This is your boy DC Black coming to you yet again with another video. So I'm here to review Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. Now, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Again, I say this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Gotta say that for the people in the back because, they get a little sensitive when you start talking about movie reviews. And this is a sequel to to the MCU's Black Panther movie that started Chadwick Boseman. All right, let's just go ahead and let's get started with this. This movie had this movie was absolutely beautiful, actually. When it comes down to visuals, visually this movie was spectacular, and this movie had to do a lot, right? So this had to be a movie that tied into not only ties to the larger story, did introduce some things, but it also had to um basically give us it had to send to do a tribute. It was a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, essentially the guy that played the man that played the character T'Challa. Played his character. The person that essentially, they were going to put the MCU on his back, and he was supposed to carry it into the future. Yeah, this movie had a lot riding on it. It did. It had a lot to prove, and I gotta be honest with you when I say this movie is a shell of itself. Like it is. This movie, I had such high. I want you guys to remember the teaser trailer that I posted. I'm gonna post it somewhere up here. So somewhere over here, you're gonna see the iCard of the teaser trailer that I did. That teaser trailer was fire. Like, have me cry, have me ready to cry at certain points. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't get those emotions watching this movie. There was one moment where I was like, "Wow, for real?" Like it got me. It hit me hard. But other than that, this movie is a shell of itself. The story alone has so many problems that I feel that not only are visible, but if you pull at certain threads too much, if you pull at certain threads, the whole movie will unravel. And you're gonna have problems. You have like instant problems. Um, this movie like is it you will have instant problems. This movie also has a issue like with trying to carry on from Chadwick Boseman. This movie, in my opinion, this movie proves why they should have recast T'Challa. In my opinion, if I was Kevin Feige, if I was the one running the MCU, I would have given everybody on the cast time to grieve, and I would have taken the movie. I would have talked with Ryan Coogler and told him, say, "Hey, I'm going to take your movie and I'm going to push it back about a year or two because I wanted to give the cast time to properly grieve." Um, and I want the story not to be held back by the death of T'Challa. And we're going to recast him because again, Batman always get recast, Superman get always recast. Like literally, they were going to recast Harley Quinn within like the sequel of her film. There was discussions about that. Um, Catwoman gets recast. Like all these other characters get recast. Even within the own MCU, the guy that played General Thunderbolt Ross, he's getting recast, and Harrison Ford is playing him because they want to do Red Hawk. They recasted him. So all these characters get recast, but Black Panther doesn't. T'Challa doesn't. T'Challa is special, and they don't want to recast him because it will do disservice to the character. Well, if we had that logic, we would never have another Superman movie because Christopher Reeves died, and as Christopher Reeves died, and we got more Superman movies afterwards. They pay homage to him, but we would have never have another Superman movie. And I think this movie is the problem. Like this movie has an issue, and that issue is it should have recast T'Challa. If they would have recast T'Challa, and you can tell watching this movie, there were certain points where T'Challa should have been there. Important things were supposed to happen. And it doesn't because T'Challa's not there. So because T'Challa's not there, they have to now change and pivot, and things have to be different. Characters in this movie do things that they did not do in the first movie. They did not do in Infinity War. They did not do in Endgame. Characters just make decisions and they act and they say things that they and respond in ways that they did not respond in the first one, which honestly makes me question like what happened to that character within 6 years because there are within those 5 years because there is a 5 year jump because of Endgame. You know, um, let's just start. To me, the highlight of the characters in this movie, to me, even though she acted out of character too, Ramonda, played by Angela Bassett, she was the MVP. But even the line that I love in the trailer that she said, "I am the queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Have I not given everything?" When you finally hear that in the movie, when I finally heard that, it it didn't do anything for me. Like the resonance of those lines with what I was looking at, it didn't work. And I feel like again, I feel like this movie suffers because of the fact that they rewrote this movie and there were places where okay, T'Challa should have been here, T'Challa should have been here, T'Challa should have been here, and he wasn't. And they should have recast him. Now, you're gonna have those people that have problems with a female Black Panther. I personally don't because in the comics, Shuri does actually take up the mantle of Black Panther. So that is in the comics, I can get that. Now I'm not gonna tell you who's under the suit or who's in the suit or anything like that, but Shuri is just an example of a female Black Panther. And which has happened. So there's precedent for it, right? Just like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was a male, but then there's now a female Captain Marvel. So and that happened in the comics, and there's precedent for that. Same thing with Wolverine. Logan. We all know Wolverine is Logan, but recently, within the last 5 to 10 years, actually within the last 3 years, X-23 took on the mantle of Wolverine. So there is a female Wolverine character now. So there's precedent for you making a female Wolverine. But here's the thing. You can I will say this without this being spoilers. Again, characters don't act like themselves. Especially one character in particular. And I'm gonna probably be a little bit of everywhere with this. So if it seems like I'm a little everywhere with talking about this, I do apologize. Because I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. Um, Even with characters that that were they're supposed to get to a certain destination, right? Them getting there is just messy. This script was messy. This was not a good script for a movie. And this book ends phase 4. And to me, this movie is very much so the what's the word I'm looking for? It is This movie is essentially the understanding and and the prime example of not having a plan when it comes to the films. Let me turn my light up a little bit. It seems like it's a little, I want to wash myself out. Let me see. All right. Sorry about that. Just had to fix my lighting. But yeah, like this, everybody was, it's like a shell of themselves. It's so weird. Um, let's see. Ramonda, basically, like I said, is my favorite. Ramonda was really good. Okoye was really good. I think those would be my two MVPs. Riri Williams in this. I don't like her character at all. In the comics, the movie made me like her slightly, but when I say that meter, excuse me, that meter of me not liking you to liking you, like it just barely went up a notch, like barely. Because also in this movie, she also kept doing things. She also kept doing stuff that just didn't make sense. The Ironheart suit looks terrible. There was no reason for Riri Williams, honestly, to be in this movie except to be a plot device. Um, she was supposed to be a plot device, and then after a while, she wasn't even a plot device. Saying and which if you guys notice with my review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, said the same thing about America Chavez. America Chavez was a plot device, nothing more, nothing less. And this, it sucks that you got these characters and you're just using them plot devices. Let's talk about Namor. Okay. Oh, this is so disappointing because this movie should have been a slam dunk. This movie should have just been a slam dunk, easy A plus. Like for me, I was looking at the trailer, even the little other little featurettes. I'm like, this is an easy A. To me, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was your teacher saying you got a test. It's gonna be open note, open book. She gave you the answers. Be 2 weeks to the test, 2 weeks before the test was there. Literally had the test paper out and was like, "This is the test. I'm about to give you the answer to every single question that is on this piece of paper. So that 2 weeks from now, when I give this to you, you will be able to answer the questions. Okay? I'll even play devil's advocate and say, listen, we're gonna go over this test line by line, precept upon precept, and and the questions aren't exactly like it, but it's a one to one. But the examples I'm gonna give you is a 1-to-1 comparison to what's on this piece of paper. So that when you do this, you already know the answers. You already know how to do it. Just follow what I did. The numbers will be different, but you'll know how to do it. I feel like that's what Black Panther Wakanda Forever was. And they had all the answers and still messed it up. Still managed to get like a C minus, C plus on the test. And it was open book, open note. You already had the answers. You know? And so let's talk about Namor. I do not like Namor in the MCU. Also, the way they said his name was weird. The way they came up his name that like they came up with his name was weird. If that's comic book accurate, that's dumb, and they should never have referred to that. This movie just Namor does not work in this movie. I'm just gonna be straight up. Culturally, how he's done is just not okay either. They also throw around that about who he is, far as when it comes down to a certain group of people in the Marvel universe. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's done. And when I went to go see it with my friend, he had totally forgot that he had even said that. So that was even in his brain talking about the character. Kind of wild, right? It's just things happen in this movie that's just like, what? Like, why is this happening? and I wish I could go into details, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go necessarily into details. There is a part interaction with two characters in particular where I was just like, this dude didn't even act like this towards the other Black Panther. So where this energy coming from? I don't know, man. This movie greatly disappointed me, and that's how I feel about this whole Phase 4. Phase 4 is a giant disappointment wrapped up in trash. Okay, and it's like at this point I can't even be like, oh, this whole phase is trash. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely trash, but it's like it's disappointing too. Like, geez, this is so disappointing. I mean, like, what the heck? Wow. Yeah, this movie was such a disappointment. It was so disappointing. Yeah. Yeah, this movie is such a disappointment. It really is. I don't know. This whole phase, like I said, the best movie in this phase to me, in my opinion, is still Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is still the movie that I would probably say is the crown jewel of Phase 4. Everything else in Phase 4, like movie wise, can go out the freaking window. TV show, almost about the same thing. Only two shows I would say are like actually good are WandaVision and Loki. Everything else can go out the freaking window. Because What If was fine, I guess. Yeah, everything else go out the window. Oh, and I guess we still got the Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, no, Guardians of the Galaxy, I think is Phase 5. I think, yeah, I think it's Phase 5. But the Groot, the I Am Groot little thing, that's cool, I guess. I don't really see that tiny anything, but yeah, man, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This movie's a disappointment. I'm gonna be honest with you. This, I I would recommend to go see it just because it's Black Panther. But if you're not pressed to go see this movie, don't worry about it. Just catch it when it hits Disney Plus. You'll be okay. Because again, you're not missing much. Also, the mid-credit scene in this movie annoyed me, and I can't even necessarily go into details of why it annoyed me because that'd be spoilers, and that's not what we're gonna do here. But just know that movie was that post credit, that mid credit scene, irritating, and it makes no sense. Um, yeah, man, this movie was a shell of itself. This really made this to me like Ryan Coogler can do better than this, and it's sad because it's like, dang, man, this is what we gonna do. Like, terrible. This is really terrible. So if I was to grade this movie, I would grade this movie as a C minus at best. On a good day, I would give this a C minus. Because this just is not it. Like I said, the story is bad. Characters are nonsensical and make piss poor decisions that they wouldn't have made coming from the first one, for coming from Black Panther to Endgame and Infinity War to this. They would not have made those choices. Also, they said we would see more of Wakanda and Tolokan and explore these air lands. You don't really get to see that much of either of them. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This 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 is There's things in this movie that just don't make sense. It really doesn't. It don't it is there is a part in this movie, and I'm not lying to you, where a certain thing happens, a certain thing happens with the piece of technology that was just previously said, oh, the Wakandan technology is so, which they established in the first one, Wakandan technology is so far advanced the rest of the world. But then a certain thing happens in this movie where you're like, wait, how are you able to do that if we know Wakandan technology is so far advanced, to so much more advanced than everybody else. That by itself doesn't make sense. No, I have to give this movie a C minus. Like, and that's me being generous. Like, I really want to give this movie a D, but a D plus. But the only reason I won't do it is because of, yeah, I just won't do it. I don't have it in me to give this movie. It's real great in my opinion. Is a D plus, but I don't have it in me to give this thing a D plus because that it is just that much of a disappointment. That this movie, while it has good visuals, this movie is mid as heck. Like, so mid, it's not even funny that this movie is mid. And people are gonna cap for it. And here's the thing. I already know people are about to cap for this movie and say this movie was fantastic. Oh, you gonna see reviewers say, "Oh, this is fantastic." Thumbnails of, and you gonna have all them kind of thumbnails, but this movie is mid at best. Listen, if you like it, you like it. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't come up here saying like this is the best MCU movie of all time because it is not. Okay, it ain't even better than the first Black Panther. Okay, it's not even the best movie in this phase. Um, it's not. It's just not at all. So you don't have people capping for this movie. I already see it coming. I already see it on YouTube. People lying like, oh, this was so good. Oh my gosh. This was like the best movie ever. It was so visually beautiful. They did such a good job with sitting Chadwick Boseman over. No, stop it. This movie was not that good at all. They didn't even send the tribute for Chadwick Boseman at the tribute for this movie. This whole movie is supposed to be a tribute for Chadwick Boseman. I'm gonna be honest with you. They did better tribute on the Marvel Legends thing probably on Disney Plus than this film. Just saying. So with that being said, I've been at this thing for 22 minutes, and I'm gonna just leave this here. Drop a comment down below and tell me what you guys think about this mid freaking movie. You guys like it? Did you not like it? Did you like my review? Did you not like my review? I want to also let you guys know that on twitch.tv/save point plus, my boy Yume is over there playing some God of War Ragnarok. So you can go over there on Twitch and check him out, and then come back over here for some more movie reviews. And I'm gonna try to continue playing through Gotham Knights, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Ragnarok is too cold. Ragnarok is too cold. So with that being said, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see you when I see you.